And a very good evening to everybody listening in and watching live on YouTube. We welcome you to Mountain Pointe High School here in Phoenix, Arizona for a playoff football matchup between the visiting Highland Hawks, the number 8 seed, and the number 1 seed, the Mountain Pointe Pride. Definitely a big game for both teams tonight, and we'll tell you how they both got there. Highland last week pulled out a big win against the Desert Mountain Wolves by a score of 41-21. And Mountain Pointe shut out Cibola, the 16 seed, in their own house here in Phoenix by a score of 65-0. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jordan Lank, alongside Deshaun Lee. Deshaun, happy to have you here for your first time.
Thank you, thank you.
We're looking at a really interesting matchup tonight between two teams that faced off earlier this year. Highland entered the half, I believe it was week 5, with a 13-0 lead against Mountain Pointe. Mountain Pointe then came out of the half and scored 14 unanswered to win the game 14-13. So if we see anything close to that game that we saw a couple of weeks ago against these two teams, it was here in Phoenix, we'll definitely have a shootout tonight.
Definitely. It should be a fun game to watch. It's a lot at stake for the Hawks, and it'll be a good night, playoff game to remember.
Winner of this game will go on to play the winner of the number 5 and number 4 matchup. The Hamilton Huskies are visiting the Perry Pumas tonight, and the winner of that game will determine the opposition for the winner of this game, Highland and Mountain Pointe. A couple of key things tonight for the Hawks. Connor Cullimore, who injured his foot last week against Desert Mountain, is out tonight. He had surgery yesterday on his foot. He broke 3 small bones in his left foot. You may see him during tonight's broadcast being pushed around in a wheelchair on the field. But the loss of Cullimore definitely a big one for the Hawks, as he is a big part of both their offensive and defensive attacks. On offense, obviously a big part of that three-headed monster that we've been talking about all season between him, Dayton Huffman, and Jacob Wood, but also on defense as an anchor of that defense, as a safety. Deshaun, I know you played a little bit of defense in your day. Talk about what it means to have a safety that can really anchor down your team.
Oh, definitely. To have a safety over the top that can branch out and always make tackles when you need them is really important. It's hard to have a key guy like that go out, not only for the defense, but for the morale of the team. So it's going to be up to those captains tonight to step up and lead their team to get this win.
And for Mountain Pointe, the player of interest tonight is their quarterback, Nick Wallerstedt. Wears number 11 on the season, 1,257 pass yards, 8 touchdowns, but 7 interceptions. So definitely something to watch out for there. Highland will receive the ball first. Mountain Pointe will kick it away. That's Ben Abercrombie, number 1, the kicker. And because we are on the road for this live stream, we will bring you some interesting camera angles, as you're seeing on your screen, not our traditional press box angle, but we're trying to make it work for you. We appreciate you all tuning in. Ben Abercrombie ready to boot it away to Highland. Looks like Ty Bryant and Jacob Wood back to return as we are underway here in Phoenix. It's Ty Bryant who receives the kick at about the 5-yard line. Hands off to Jacob Wood, looking to get to the outside and is pushed out of bounds around the 15-yard line. Jacob Wood, a name that you'll be hearing a lot on this broadcast for these number 8 Highland Hawks. Wood, a 5'11 senior, weighing 215 pounds, also plays outside linebacker for that Hawks defense. So now we'll see Caleb Herbert and his offense come out onto the field. Although to start the game, Caleb Herbert is not on the field. It looks like Dayton Huffman is going to be taking a direct snap from the center. Scratch that. That looks like Riley Bond. Actually, Jacob Wood, Wood tries to get to the outside, unable to do so, pushed out around the 14-yard line. And now Herbert jogging in from the sideline. You see him there, number 10, on the right side in the middle of your screen. Herbert, a guy that likes to pass the ball, nephew of former National Football League quarterback and Heisman winner for BYU, Ty Detmer. Herbert sets up with 2 men to his right and 2 to his left with Dayton Huffman with him in the backfield. He now motions Huffman from his left to his right. Herbert the snap going to give to Huffman. Huffman looking to get around the left side and cut up the field, and is swallowed up after a gain of a couple of yards. Brings up a 3rd down. And about 7 yards to go. Herbert lining up with trips out to his left this time. Herbert rolling to his left now, looking down the sideline. Incomplete. Looks like that pass was intended for Ty Bryant. So Bryant, the man who returned or caught the opening kickoff, gets the first target of the game. Incomplete. We'll bring up 4th down, and we'll see Austin McNamara on the field now to boot it away for the Hawks. McNamara back to boot it away, and does so. A nice booming kick by McNamara, fielded by Mountain Pointe. And their return man makes a couple of men miss before he is stopped around midfield. That's Delano Salgado. Salgado, 5'10" senior. Defensive back, also plays running back for the Mountain Pointe Pride. And as Mountain Pointe will take the field, that'll give us the first opportunity to see Nick Wallerstedt. Wallerstedt takes a snap from shotgun, hands off to his running back, unable to get much. Nice stop by the Highland defense there. Stout defensive line we talked about at the beginning of the game. Deshaun, what are they going to have to do to keep this Mountain Pointe rushing attack from really getting anywhere?
I think the big thing to do against the run attack is to contain them. As long as they can keep them inside the tackles and allow the linebackers to fill, they should do a good job containing the run.
It's going to be up to the big guys up front like Dallin Clement. Also Jake Trejo, and can't forget about Noah Evans or Tate Stevens. Flag blown there. Whistle blown, flag thrown. Looks like they're going to get Mountain Pointe on an offsides. That's number 21, Bashu Delco, who jumped offsides for the Pride. We'll back him up 5 yards, make it a 2nd and about 11. Correction, a 2nd and 15. Wellerstadt trips out to his right, looking that way, completes to number 7, Marshawn Gibson. Gibson gets a couple of yards, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, it looks like. Brings up a 3rd and 11. And folks, you may or may not notice tonight an increased noise of the crowd. That's because we are sitting right amongst them as the whistle is blown and the referee will go talk to head coach Brock Farrell. Tonight we are amongst the fans as opposed to being in our normal cooped up press box back at Highland. We're in amongst the fans, we're in amongst the student section, and the band is over to our right a couple of sections. Parents and fans over to our left. 3rd and 11 now. One of the Mountain Pointe coaches is on the field. Not sure what's going on, but he's over on the Highland side of the field. Definitely wanted to talk something over with the head referee. On that signature 3rd down, defense noise from the crowd has definitely traveled over from Gilbert. You can hear it here. Highland looking to get a big 3rd down stop on the first offensive drive of the Pride for the game. Wallerstedt motions a man out to his right. Wallerstedt's going to have to run, and he's stuffed. Oh, no, he gets away. Wallerstedt still trying to make something happen, and finally is taken down by number 46, Noah Evans.
Hawks doing a great job with pursuit on that last play. They had great field position and didn't allow it. It was great.
So Wallerstedt gets back to the original line of scrimmage, forces a 4th and 11, and we will see the punter for Mountain Pointe. It's Andres Rangel. And for any Mountain Pointe fans, we are sorry. The kick is blocked! And it's a very interesting turn of events there as the kick was blocked by one of the defensive linemen for Highland.
Great field position, great field position.
Unbelievable field position, Deshaun. That's a huge block, a great job by the Highland Special Teams front unit. That's Cade Kamak. They got up there and blocked it for the Hawks, so that gives Caleb Herbert and his team very favorable field position. I was just about to mention to all you Mountain Pointe fans that might be tuning in, we apologize if we butcher anybody's names. We weren't able to get a pronunciation guide tonight, so we're doing our best up here. First and 10 from the, looks like the 50-yard line. Herbert's going to look out right to Daniel Wood. Daniel Wood ducking down the field. And it's intercepted on the other side of the field by Mountain Pointe. So quite an interesting couple of plays there as Highland gets the blocked punt, and the next play, Caleb Herbert and head coach Brock Farrell try to pull something out of the trick book.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting going with the trick play, first play back in it with great field position. Didn't work out so far, but maybe next possession.
It was Daniel Wood, the player who tried to get it down the field to, looked like number 7, Tanner Lunt, but it was picked off by Mountain Pointe, so that'll give the Pride another chance here. Wallerstedt the handoff. Pride unable to get much. Went to number 8, Gary Bragg. Bragg unable to get any yardage. 2nd and 10 from the 8-yard line. Wallerstedt looking over the middle, completes, and is taken down by a barrage of Hawks defenders. That's number 32, Kalon Russell, the running back. Russell also a tight end, a senior, 5'11", weighing in at 225 pounds. That catch there moves the chains for Mountain Pointe. Wallerstedt calls a man in motion, and that's Bragg. Bragg gets 3 or 4 yards before he's stopped by the Highland defenders. So Deshaun, so far, not too bad of a job done by the defense of Highland. It's just been the offense that hasn't really been able to get it going so far.
Definitely, defense doing a great job containing the run. All they have to do is watch out for those quick hitters and just get their offense sparked so they can score some points.
2nd and 10 now from the 34. Wallerstedt gives. That's Bragg again. A good job by the Highland defense of not letting that get too out of hand. That's number 24, Hunter Short, who got in there for the tackle. Wallerstedt the give again to his running back. Unable to get much. So Mountain Pointe gets a yard on the play. Second down now, and about 9 to go from the 48. Gary Bragg, one of the lead rushers for this Mountain Pointe team so far this season, 790 rush yards on 131 rushing attempts. That time it's number 33, Jakeem McKinney. McKinney, the lead rusher for Mountain Pointe this season, 126 rushes, almost 1,300 rushing yards, and 16 accumulated touchdowns over the season. Last week against Cibola, McKinney had 3 carries for 80 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. As we are approaching the 5-minute left mark here in the first quarter, Wellerstadt again the give. That was McKinney again on the run to the left side. Last week against Cibola as a team, Mountain Pointe absolutely handed it to them. It was a 65-0 final. Nick Wellerstadt had 179 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. As a team, the Pride had 7 touchdowns. 5 of those came by way of the rush. 19 rushes, 305 rush yards, which is absolutely unfathomable, Deshaun, if you're a high school team like this. 305 rushing yards on 19 attempts.
That's ridiculous in a game.
Wellerstadt lining up in shotgun formation again. Calls a couple of men in motion to his right. Give to the running back. Unable to get much. Number 25. Derek White in there to make the tackle for the Hawks. So it's third down again for the Pride. Got about 4 yards to gain. Wallerstedt setting up in shotgun formation again. Play action, Wallerstedt rolling to his left. Completes a screen pass out to Bragg. Unable to get much. We'll see where they mark it. Looks just short of the first down marker.
Big decision for the Pride coming up.
Definitely on a 4th and 1, you got to think about whether you want to run your offense back out there and try to punch it through and into the red zone potentially, or if
I formation for the Pride.
The offense does stay out there, and Mountain Pointe is going to call a timeout. So potentially looking to draw the Highland defense off sides there, unable to do so are the Pride. We mentioned in the open that these two teams, Highland and Mountain Pointe, played earlier this season. Mountain Pointe squeaking by with a 14-13 win. As a team, the Pride couldn't get much going. Wallerstedt, 5 for 6 passing, 41 yards and an interception. So it was really the rushing game that helped Mountain Pointe really pull away in that game in the second half, albeit by 1 point. 37 carries, 189 yards for 2 touchdowns, and their longest carry was only 27 yards. On 4th and 1, the Pride are going to keep the offense out there. Wallerstedt under center. They'll give it to the back, and it looks like he'll get enough for the first down. Behind that big offensive line of Mountain Pointe, that was number 23, Kenny Churchwell. Tate Stevens in on the tackle. Stevens, one of the most valuable players this season on defense for the Hawks. Stevens really has done an unbelievable job of stopping the rushing game of a ton of teams that the Hawks have played. As Wallerstedt on 1st and 10, pitches to the outside, but Highland able to stop it. Number 43, Cole Porter, in on the tackle for loss. Jake Trejo also in on the tackle for Highland. 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the first quarter. This one's gone by pretty quickly so far. No scoring done yet. Tied at 0 here in round 2 of the 6A AIA State Football Championships. Wallerstedt back in shotgun formation. Got 2 receivers to his right. He'll roll that way. Wallerstedt looking for room to run. He finds it and is met by number 25, Derek White, just inside the 10-yard line, but not after gaining about 15 yards.
The Pride quarterback showing a lot of athleticism on that play. Haven't seen it yet before, but
so 3rd and 4, a gain of 6. Wallerstedt under center, the pitch outside. That's to Pleasant Johnson. Short of the goal line. Nice stop there by Jalen Johnson and number 15, Cade Kamak. Correction there, it was Jakeem McKinney again. McKinney, as we mentioned, the lead rusher for Mountain Pointe. However, the Pride do get enough for the first down, so 1st and goal now from their own, the Highland 2-yard line. Wallerstedt gonna set up under center. They'll give it to the back. Did they punch it in? No, they did not. A great job again by that Highland defensive line to stay stout and keep that Mountain Pointe rushing attack from punching it into the end zone. Again, it was McKinney. McKinney stopped for no gain. So he does get back to the 2-yard line. And we're going to have to see what Mountain Pointe is going to draw up here as we near the end of the first quarter. Still scoreless. So a very quick one so far. This game started at 7 o'clock. It's only 7:21 here in Phoenix. We are through 1. The score tied at 0. So far, it's really been a battle of 2 defenses that really haven't given up yet. And I'm sure during this break, Brock Farrell, the head coach of Highland, is really telling his team that, like, you really have to stay strong on this 2-yard stand here.
Yeah, definitely. Digging deep on down near the goal line is how you win games. If you could just stop on the goal line, you know that you can swing the game in your favor.
Of course, this drive started after the interception that Daniel Wood threw on the receiver pass from Caleb Herbert. Mountain Pointe has really marched the ball down the field with some pretty good speed. Highland's going to have to stay physical to keep a score from happening here. Hawks looking for a goal line stand. They give outside to McKinney, and they are unable to get it. Mountain Pointe into the end zone for a touchdown. So Jakim McKinney, the first man to drive it into the end zone for the Mountain Pointe Pride. As they break the scoreless tie, it's 6-0 in favor of Mountain Pointe. Ben Abercrombie out for the extra point. Kick is up and through the uprights. So Deshaun, a nice methodical drive there for Mountain Pointe. After the blocked punt, really were thinking that Highland was going to get into the end zone first here, but a quick interception, they're back in business. What did you see on that drive that looked good in terms of the rest of the game for Mountain Pointe?
I just think their run game really stepped up. Getting outside the edges really helped them get to the end zone on that last drive.
Abercrombie will come out to boot it away for the Pride. Ty Bryant and Jacob Wood back to return for the Hawks. Kick is towards Bryant, and Bryant will take it himself this time. Makes a man miss. Still going and finally steps out of bounds around the 25-yard line. So Caleb Herbert and company will come out at their own 21-yard line. 1st and 10, they'll have to work the ball. Total of 79 yards to get into the end zone on this drive. 11 minutes and 48 seconds to go until the half. Herbert looking to the sideline. Looks to be calling an audible. From shotgun formation, Herbert takes the snap, gives to Jacob Wood. Wood looking to get to the outside. Still on his feet and is tackled after a gain of maybe 1, maybe 2. But for the Hawks, they're really going to have to start getting that running game going if they're going to want to get any offense here. Jacob Wood and Dayton Huffman, their two premier offensive backs. Of course, with Connor Cullimore, as we mentioned in the open, out of this one with having foot surgery yesterday. So 2nd down and about 9. Herbert looking right, trying to find Jacob Wood. Completes. Wood still on his feet after getting hit by one defender, excuse me. And is finally knocked out of bounds by number 7, Marshawn Gibson, and number 23, Kenny Churchwell. 3rd and 4 for the Hawks, 10:40 to go. 7-0 in favor of the Pride. Mountain Pointe looking to get back to its 2nd straight state championship game. Last year they lost it to Chandler. The snap taken by Wood. Wood gets a couple of yards, not enough for the 1st down. 4th down and about 2 yards to gain. So we'll see what Brock Farrell looks to do here on 4th. It looks like the offense is going to stay out on the field. An interesting decision here for Highland on a 4th and 2 in such deep territory of their own, Deshaun. Brock Farrell will keep his team out there. Wouldn't be surprised to see a timeout here.
It's like a wildcat formation.
Jacob Wood trying to get him on the hard count. Unable to do so. And Highland's going to be forced to call a timeout. So on 4th and 2 after the timeout, I would expect we would see exactly what we saw out of Mountain Pointe. Or excuse me, not at all what we saw out of Mountain Pointe. They came out of the timeout and went for it on 4th down. I would assume so deep in your own field position, or deep in your own territory, you would have to punt the ball in this situation.
Definitely. That'd be the smart thing to do. You're down by 7. You don't want to make it worse. Punt the ball away and get a good stop on defense.
And as Highland takes the field, we saw a little peek of Austin McNamara, the tallest guy in that huddle, wearing number 31. It looks as though Highland will punt the ball away. However, they have tried to pull off a couple of fakes this season. As on your screen, you see Connor Cullimore being pushed by Cooper Holman in that wheelchair there with the cast around his right foot and right leg. McNamara on 4th and short will punt it away. A nice punt, bounces at the 35, fielded by Mountain Pointe by number 5, Dante Lindsay. Lindsay looking to get to the outside and is taken out of bounds. Correction, he's still on his feet. Looked like he stepped out of bounds. But taken down in between the 45 and 50-yard lines of Mountain Pointe. Bryden Horn on the tackle for your Hawks. 1st and 10 for the Pride at their own 47. 9 minutes and 16 seconds to go until the half. This has been a very swiftly played ball game. 7:29 p.m. here in Phoenix. And we're already almost halfway done with this thing. Very limited penalties, very limited clock stoppages so far, as Wellerstedt is going to keep it on the option and is able to gain a good amount of yardage. Looks like he's good enough for a Mountain Pointe 1st down. We'll see where they mark it. Just a couple of yards short. 2nd and about 1, by the way. The chain crew is marking the ball. He reminds you that the winner of this game will go on to play the winner of Perry and Hamilton. As Wallerstedt looks out to his left, finds a man complete. Looks to be short of the 1st down marker, however. That was number 31, Wakaria Pleasant Johnson. Pleasant Johnson, the premier wideout for the Pride. 25 receptions on the season for 371 yards. Last week he had 3 receptions, 75 yards, and a touchdown in the winning effort for the Pride against Cibola. Third and 1 now. Highland defensive line is really going to have to show its prowess. Wallerstedt calls a couple of men in motion. That's Gibson and number 44, Anthony Dedrick. The pitch outside. Looks like they got enough. That's Gary Bragg. Stopped by a flock of Hawks on the far side of the field. Good enough for a 1st down. Eight minutes to go in the 1st half. Score Mountain Pointe 7 and the visiting Highland Hawks nothing. So right now it looks like Mountain Pointe really just using their offense to march down the field, take up time, and score a touchdown, as it's Gary Bragg again on the carry. Gets about 5 yards. We'll bring up 2nd and 5. And we're going to have a timeout taken. This time by Mountain Pointe. That'll be their 2nd timeout of the half. So second and about 5. Wallerstedt will give. That looks like Gary Bragg again. Actually, that's number 7, Marshawn Gibson. We've seen Gibson get the ball a couple of times so far in this one. Gibson gets enough for a Mountain Pointe first down. So the Highland defense showing its weak spots here. Is that big offensive line of Mountain Pointe really getting the push in the direction that they want it to go. Wallerstedt takes the snap, gives again. This time stopped by Highland.
Good job containing the run on that attack.
It's number 33, Jakim McKinney again, 2 yards lost there. So it'll be 2nd and 12. From about the 32-yard line of Highland. Mountain Pointe looking to march the ball into the end zone for the second time in the game. Wallerstedt looking deep down the sideline. That's Gibson. Complete. And they do get it into the end zone on the next play. Marshawn Gibson. A long reception from Nick Wallerstedt. So Gibson, a great job of getting open there. What did you see on that play?
I felt like the Hawks just got blown to sleep with all the rushing attack and left themselves open for the deep ball. They just got to stay mentally prepared for every aspect of the offense that they'll throw at them.
That's something that Highland likes to do themselves. They really like to run the ball, and then have Caleb Herbert go out and throw a long pass. It's something that Mountain Pointe kind of just pulled out of the Highland playbook, something they've been doing all year, and it seemed to have worked for Mountain Pointe.
Definitely.
They get into the end zone for the second time tonight. It's 14-0 in favor of the Pride with 6:02 to go in the second quarter. So in my mind, Deshaun, before this team goes into the half, Highland's really they really have to punch the ball into the end zone if they want this thing to stay respectable.
Definitely.
14-point lead right now for Mountain Pointe as Abercrombie kicks it deep. Jacob Wood will be the man that takes it back. Wood finds a little bit of space up the middle and is upended at about the 30-yard line. Great return there by Jacob Wood. But Deshaun, if Highland's going to stay in this and keep this thing respectable, they really have to get on the board in one way or another.
Definitely need to put some points on the board to keep this thing close.
So a holding penalty there on the return will back Highland up 10 yards. Although that may not be the correct call. That's what we heard over the PA system. It was a hold. And now the ball dropped. Picked up, thankfully, by Jacob Wood. They were trying to go with the Wildcat there again.
Luckily recovered on the 1-yard line.
Ooh, really close there. Nice job by Jacob Wood to pounce on top of that. This Wildcat attack for the Hawks doesn't seem to be working as well as they might like it to. The Hawks lose 8 second and long now. Looks to be second and about at least 17 or 18 yards. 5 minutes and 18 seconds to go as a man in motion. Herbert back in the game under center. From shotgun, Herbert's got to roll left and looking to find some space. Did they get him in the end zone? No, they did not. They'll mark the ball back at the 1. Tackle made there by number 23, Kenny Churchwell. Churchwell making his name into our broadcast quite often on the defensive end of things for the Pride so far. 4 minutes and 41 seconds to go until halftime. And again, we've mentioned how quickly this game has gone by. It is only 7:38 p.m. This game started 38 minutes ago. One of the faster games that Highland's played all season. Herbert's got to take the shotgun snap from his own end zone as the whistle blows and a flag is thrown. Herbert called Riley Bond in motion there. Let's see what they call. If it's on the offense, it should be half the distance to the goal.
Hawks have to find a way to stop the bleeding on this drive.
So now the Hawks are going to have to snap the ball from the half-yard line. Herbert calls Riley Bond in motion. Herbert looking to his left. Completes out that side. That's Tanner Lunt, his favorite target. First time Lunt has accumulated a reception tonight. And the good thing for Highland is that they're out of the back of their own end zone. So on 4th and long, Austin McNamara will at least not have to punt from that back of the end zone. Clock ticking under 3.5 to go. Delano Salgado back to receive the punt. McNamara kicks it away from him. Salgado is going to catch it over his shoulder at the 45. Salgado looking to get up the field. And does. Finally is taken out of bounds at the Highland 45. Penalty flag down, however. Highland fans screaming for one of those. We'll have to see what the call is and which team it goes on. However, it looks like Mountain Pointe is marching backwards. So it'll definitely be on the return team. An illegal block in the back looks to be the call. That'll back the Mountain Pointe offense up 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So 1st and 10 for Mountain Pointe now from the 27. And if Highland can get a stop on this drive, that penalty is pretty big for Mountain Pointe. Pride had some pretty good field position at Highland's 45, now backed up to their own 27. Wallerstedt. The delayed give to his running back, stopped there by number 80, Dallin Clement. A nice job there by the senior up front to stop the rushing attack on that one. A 1-yard gain for Mountain Pointe. Wouldn't be surprised to see another run play here. Short run and then maybe another one of those long passes that Wallerstedt sent out to Marshawn Gibson. However, a pass on this play from Wallerstedt to one of his receivers. Looks like he got enough for the first down. That's number 9, Sky Hinosa. Tate Stevens, one of the men in on the tackle for the Hawks. Third and short now. They won't give him the first down. Wallerstedt going to give again to the outside. Looked like Gary Bragg on the carry. Bragg gets about 5 yards. Good enough for Pride, first down. Under 2 minutes to go now, 1 minute and 38 seconds to go until the half. No offense accumulated yet for Highland. Not much going. Mountain Pointe, however, has been able to get into the end zone 2 times as they lead 14-0. This time on the pitch outside. That's Gary Bragg again. Number 44, Dalen Soto, in on the tackle. Mountain Pointe's going to burn their last timeout of the quarter, or the half, excuse me, with 1 minute and 11 seconds to go. And Deshaun, if you're Mountain Pointe's head coach right now, with 1 minute and 11 seconds to go and over 50 yards to gain, looks like it's about 54 yards to gain, or 59 yards, excuse me. What are you telling your team?
Well, obviously they're trying to score some more points, calling a timeout because they could have let the clock run down in the halftime. The biggest thing at this point is to be safe with the ball and have ball security. We don't want any unwanted turnovers going into the half because you have momentum. You'd want to do everything you can to just keep the momentum going into the third quarter and be smart with the football.
Second down and 9 yards to go. Wallerstedt from shotgun formation looking to pass, looks to the left, completes to his man.
Getting out of bounds, stops the clock.
Good enough for a first down to number 9, Sky Henyosa. Hunter Short in on the tackle for Highland, but good enough for a first down for Mountain Pointe. And like you said, Deshaun stops the clock there at 1 minute and 3 seconds to go until halftime.
I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of those out routes to stop the clock on these next upcoming plays.
Wallerstedt being pressured, almost taken down. Great job by Tate Stevens to wrap him down at the ankles. Flag thrown after the play now. Might be for intentional grounding.
I believe so.
Wallerstedt just had to get that ball away, but didn't get it out of bounds, and there wasn't really anybody in the general vicinity. And it will be intentional grounding on Mountain Pointe. That'll back them up a good 5 yards, and they'll replay second down. Second and about 14 now with 53 seconds to go until the half. So if you're the Pride, you got to get the ball out of bounds, I would assume. Work the ball down the field as much as you can before bringing out that field goal unit at the very least. Wallerstedt looking to go deep, has a man, complete! Wow. Touchdown, Mountain Pointe.
What a throw by the quarterback.
An unbelievable throw by Nick Wallerstedt completes to La Correa Pleasant Johnson. What a ball thrown there by Nick Wallerstedt. The whole season he had 9 touchdowns. And he's already got 2 passing touchdowns tonight. Abercrombie out for the extra point, up and good. So Mountain Pointe, a 3-score lead on Highland. And it seems to me, Deshaun, that this Hawks team is just shell-shocked at the moment.
Yeah, they came out very flat. They were definitely overwhelmed with the energy of the Pride. I think from this point on, all they have to do is take it play by play and execute efficiently.
So with 42 seconds to go, the Hawks will get the ball back, a chance for them to do what the Pride were potentially looking to do, get the ball out of bounds as much as they can before bringing out that Austin McNamara field goal unit. Wood and Bryant back to receive the kickoff from Abercrombie after the long touchdown pass from Wallerstedt to Pleasant Johnson. Abercrombie's kick is away, And they're going to kick it to Ty Bryant this time. Bryant will take it and return it to about the 25-yard line. So with 33 seconds to go, Caleb Herbert and his offensive unit will trot back out onto the field, see what they can get going with about half a minute to go until the half. A lot of halves there. Hey, Deshaun, you got to think that they're going to try to go with the deep ball here and try to get out of bounds.
Any positive yardage would be good at this point.
Herbert looking left and is swamped by Mountain Point defenders, gets the ball away. Incomplete. Almost intercepted there.
Good scramble by Herbert to get out of the pressure.
Pass was intended for Tanner Lunt. Brings up a 2nd and 10. And burns 8 seconds off the game clock. 25 seconds to go. If you're just joining us, we appreciate you tuning in. It's the second round of the 6A State Championship football playoff bracket, as that one is completed from Caleb Herbert. Actually incomplete. That one looked like it was completed to number 2, Dayton Huffman. But a nice hit by the Mountain Point defender to jar that one loose. If you're just joining us, Mountain Point has mounted a 3-score lead over these Highland Hawks, who last week beat the Desert Mountain Wolves by a score of 41-21. Mountain Point coming in tonight after a huge win over Cibola. Cibola out of Yuma, Arizona, by a score of 65-0. Herbert there, the give to Dayton Huffman. Huffman able to get about 2 yards, and it looks like that will do it for the first half. So after 24 minutes of play here in Phoenix, the Mountain Point Pride are shutting out the Highland Hawks by a score of 21-0. An unbelievable job by the offense of the Pride to come out and put it up on the Hawks. The Hawks defense just unable to contain it. We're going to head to break. We'll see you after the half here in Phoenix. It's Hawks and Pride. And welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona. The Mountain Pointe Pride leading the Highland Hawks at the start of the third quarter tonight, 21-0. The Hawks defense normally very stout, very hard to score on. It's not done much of that tonight. Mountain Pointe will receive the second half kickoff, which doesn't make anything much better for Highland, as Mountain Pointe has really just been able to march the ball down the field and get into the end zone at ease. I mean, they've had a couple of really nice passing touchdowns, one to LaCorea Pleasant Johnson and the other to Marshawn Gibson. So Austin McNamara set to start it off, and it's an onside kick. They blow the whistle, and it's going to be an offsides penalty on the Hawks, so they'll have to try it again.
Interesting strategy by the Hawks.
Makes sense. Down 21 if they recover it. I mean, that's not a bad way to start the quarter.
Definitely. I think they just need a tone setter, whether it's getting the ball back on an onside kick or making a great hit on the return. They just need to make sure that the Pride knows that they're still in this game.
So McNamara backed up 5 yards, and they'll try it again. I would assume they won't see, or we won't see the onside kick this time. McNamara ready. And this time he kicks it nice and deep. Take a bounce at about the 15-yard line, and Mountain Pointe will try to return it. The return man.
Great solo tackle.
Looked like number 6, Jathan Washington, on the return there. Nice job by the Highland Special Teams unit to track him down and not allow a very big gain. They'll start at their own 22-yard line. So Highland looking to avoid elimination. The winner of this game again will go on to play the winner of tonight's matchup between the 4 and 5 seeds, Perry and Hamilton. Nice tackle there by Tyler T. Brady, who gets into the backfield for a loss. Handoff went to Gary Bragg. Couldn't get anything going for the Pride this time. Second and about 12 now. Nick Wallerstedt will go under center. 2 men to his left, calls a man in motion from his right side to the left side. Wallerstedt hands off again to Gary Bragg.
Great counterplay up the middle.
Around the 30-yard line. Like you said, a nice counterplay up the middle, Deshaun. Draw the defense's attention to one side and go back through the middle or to the other side. Seems like Mountain Pointe has really executed that well tonight. Third and short now. Looks to be no more than 3 yards to gain here for Mountain Pointe. Wallerstedt is going to give to Bragg. Bragg gets enough for the first down and more. Bragg exploding to the other side of the field. Gary Bragg down the sideline and finally out of bounds around the Highland 20-yard line. An explosive run there by Gary Bragg, and there are no flags on the field.
We got the whole defense shifted to the left, and the running back had a clear seam to get back to the right side. Great cutback for the running back.
They'll mark the ball at the Highland 18 after the long run by Gary Bragg, getting the bulk of the carries tonight for the Mountain Pointe Pride, the 5'10", 175-pound senior. Wallerstedt again on the counter. This time it's Jakim McKinney. Gets a couple of yards. Tackled by Tate Stevens there. Second down. So Deshaun, on first down, it really looks like Mountain Pointe is making it a point to run the ball.
Definitely. I was just about to say that. They've done it all night. They run the ball consistently, and the DBs just got to make sure to keep their eyes in their zone and not get blown to sleep by that run, because you know the pass is coming.
On the option, Wellerstadt's going to keep and carry into the end zone for a Pride touchdown. So the Highland defense really showing its holes now.
Definitely. If they can't stop the run, it's going to be a really long day for the rest of this game.
Well, it's already 27-0 in favor of the Pride, and we're only under 3 minutes having been played in the third quarter. Ben Abercrombie on for the extra point to try to make it 28-0. Kick is up and through the uprights. So very quickly coming out of the half, the Mountain Pointe Pride put up another touchdown to make it a 4-score game. Highland really is going to have to string together a couple of special drives to get back into this thing. So far for Highland, their offense has really just been shut down quite literally. So being shut out 28-0. Caleb Herbert unable to do anything. That rushing attack consisting of Dayton Huffman, who I'm not even sure we've seen rush tonight. And Jacob Wood really hasn't been able to do much. You gotta wonder what's going on the sideline on this side of the field for the Hawks. Abercrombie kicks it away to, it's like Jacob Wood. Will take it. Wood looking for some space to run. Jacob Wood is a bruiser. Up the middle there. Gets to about just past the 30-yard line. Jacob, the second oldest of 6 kids. And his brother, who is 2 years younger, Daniel Wood, who we saw throw that interception earlier today, also on varsity. Jacob is a 3-year varsity player. He's played tight end and linebacker his sophomore year. And he's played running back and linebacker ever since. As Caleb Herbert takes a snap from shotgun, looks over the middle, complete to Ty Bryan. A first down for the Hawks, so maybe a positive sign there. Guns a-blazing on that first play from scrimmage for Caleb Herbert.
That's one play we saw work late in the second half when they were trying to get out of their own end zone, and see it again on this play right now.
Nine minutes and 5 seconds to go in the third. Herbert takes a snap from shotgun formation, looking left. Over the middle, sees a man, complete for another Highland first down. That's number Elliott Moe. So maybe, Deshaun, they're getting something working here with this passing game.
Definitely, they did their homework going into the halftime, and the passing game has definitely opened up for them.
Herbert again from shotgun formation, gives to Jacob Wood. Wood looking for space to run. Dives forward across the 30-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 31. It'll be third down and 1 yard to gain. Correction, 2nd and 1. Scratch that, 2nd and 2. So Highland's offense finally looking like it's alive tonight. And hopefully for Hawks fans, it's not too late. Herbert in shotgun formation again, trips out to his right, one man to his left. Herbert going left, and he trips and falls down. Just shy of the 40-yard line. So a tough break there after the gain of 8 on the run. Herbert loses about 10 yards. Be 3rd and long now from the Mountain Pointe 42. Herbert passes to Wood on the screen, who goes back to Herbert, who opens up the left side to run. Herbert looks like he got enough for the first down, so another trick play there, but this time they went right back to Herbert, and Herbert ran it up for a first down.
Definitely a switch from the play we saw earlier. We were expecting a deep ball down the sideline. Goes back to the quarterback. Great trickery on that play to get that first down.
Highland finally finding some spark in their offense. So the trick play negates the loss of 10 yards after Caleb Herbert tripped on 2nd down. 1st and 10 now from the 25. Herbert the give to Jacob Wood, who gains about 5 yards. Dropped at about the 20. And again, Deshaun, it looks like we have a hawk down on the field. Might be Jacob Wood. Looks like it is Jacob Wood. Deshaun, if you're Mountain Pointe and Highland is running this offense down your throat on the first drive back from halftime, during the stoppage of play, what are you telling your team on that sideline?
I think one thing I'd just be telling them is to stay composed. You know you have the lead, but, I mean, no one wants to give it up. So just stay composed, stick to the game plan, and know that it's going to pull through in the end.
Jacob Wood is the man down on the field for Highland. And that is definitely not good news in terms of their rushing attack, seeing as Connor Cullimore is out for the season as he had foot surgery just yesterday for 3 small broken bones in his right foot. Jacob Wood down on the field around the 25-yard line. A couple of trainers out there tending to him. And for Highland fans, there may not be anything worse right now than to lose this guy. Wood was piloting the offense, marching the ball downfield on this drive. So to lose a guy so pivotal like him in a game like this.
Great to see him walking off, though.
Wood is up on his feet, walking off on his own power. Looks to be okay, high-fiving his teammates. And we'll get back to the action. So 2nd and about 4 yards to go as Caleb Herbert lines up with trips out to his right. And Dayton Huffman in the game at running back. Herbert will give it to Huffman. Huffman looking for some space on the far side of the field, unable to find it. Nice tackle there by the Mountain Pointe defensive line. Number 30, Khalif Ravenel on the tackle there. Now Tate Stevens coming in on offense. 3rd and short. And with all of these, looks like a couple of linebackers have come into the game for the Hawks on offense. Got to think they're going to try to punch the ball up the middle. And they do. Dayton Huffman, did he get enough? And a flag thrown late. Might be a late hit on Mountain Pointe. Would make a lot of sense as now there is some extracurricular activity going on. It's a personal foul on Mountain Pointe, likely for that extracurricular activity. As we are keeping an eye on Jacob Wood on the sideline, he is on the trainer's table right now. He is giving a thumbs up to the Highland crowd. Seems to be okay. We'll see if he returns later tonight. However, unless the Hawks can pound the ball into the end zone on this drive, I'm not sure we will see Jacob Wood again tonight. Herbert the give to Huffman. Huffman trying to get to the outside, but is stopped short. Nice tackle there by number 5, Dante Lindsay. Second and goal. Ball spotted inside the 10-yard line, looks to be at the 8. Another flag on the play, likely on the offense this time. However, no, it's on the defense. It's encroachment on Mountain Pointe. So how about another 5 yards for Highland, make it a little bit easier for them to punch it into the end zone, Deshaun. Herbert looking right towards the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Ty Bryant looking for some kind of pass interference or holding penalty. Unable to get it. Third and goal now.
Hawks looking to the air, being unable to run the ball for this touchdown.
Third and goal, Riley Bond into the game now as a tight end. Might be serving as a fullback on this play, however. Herbert, play action, almost taken down in the backfield. The pass is complete in the end zone. Touchdown Hawks, Ty Bryant able to get his arms under it, and the Hawks are finally on the board as you hear this crowd rejoice.
Great rollout pass.
So Highland in the third quarter finally able to play their fight song after they have gotten into the end zone. Austin McNamara out for the extra point. Looking to make it 28-7, and he does. So finally, Deshaun, this offense has woken up, and reminiscent of what we saw from Mountain Pointe when they played last time. They're coming out and putting points on the board early.
Definitely. Losing their star runner in Jacob Wood will definitely change the dynamics of the game, though, causing the Hawks to throw a little more.
We'll have to keep an eye on Jacob Wood. Wood is still on the trainer's table, so after that score, we may see him back in this game, depending on his condition. We'll have to see what Brock Farrell and the Highland coaching staff elect to do. Austin McNamara will kick it away again for the Hawks. And it's another onside kick. And the Hawks have it. It looks like they got it. An unbelievable job by the Hawks hands team. Number 46, Noah Evans, gets his paws on it.
They are
and
not
the
done.
Hawks retain possession.
They are not done. We'll have to see what's happening here. The Highland football players are signaling a first down. And indeed it is. So Highland recovers the onside kick. And now you got to think the momentum is on Highland's side, coming out of the half, scoring early, Definitely. And getting that onside kick recovery. Another quick score here could change the momentum of the game.
Hawks fans have energy, finally. It's felt like this side of the stands has been dead all night. After the score and the onside kick recovery, the Hawks are actually in business. So an interesting set out here. The ball close to the near sideline. All of the offensive linemen on the far side.
Interesting setup here for the first play.
Dayton Huffman takes the snap, looks over the middle, completes to Tanner Lunt, but a flag on the play. Might be an illegal formation there. Let's see what the call is there. Hawks will have to back it up. It's a 5-yard penalty, so you would have to think it might be an illegal formation there.
Definitely. When running an unorthodox formation like that, you got to account for everybody being on the line of scrimmage.
First and 15 now for the Hawks. 3 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Hawks back to their traditional formation. Herbert in shotgun formation. He's got trips out to his left. Herbert looking that way, looking for Cody Zimmerman, but threw it behind him. Incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 15. So after that unorthodox setup on first down, you got to wonder if the Hawks are actually in Mountain Pointe's head here. They've run a couple of trick plays, one of which has worked pretty well. Herbert threw to Daniel Wood, who threw back to Herbert, and Herbert ran for about 12 yards. This time, however, they're back in their normal formation. Riley Bond setting up in the slot. You see him at the top of your screen there. That's Daniel Wood in motion as they give to Dayton Huffman. Huffman is stopped, unable to get much. Number 15, Kenneth Lofton there.
With a big third and about 15 coming, we're sure to see pass.
Jacob Woods still on the sideline for Highland as Herbert takes the snap. Looking down the field. Completes over the middle. Noah Burdick. Burdick finding some space. And is finally taken down across the 15-yard line. Marked down at about the 13. Nice job there by Caleb Herbert, although there is a flag down on the field. But it'll be on Mountain Pointe. So Highland again in business on this drive after a nice third down conversion there that nets them about 20 yards.
Great catch and run from the receiver, seeing that there was open space to his left.
1st and 10 for the Hawks. The Hawks are going to have to take a timeout here. With 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Mountain Pointe Pride 28, the Highland Hawks 7. We're going to send it to break. We'll be right back. So back now on 1st and 10 for Highland. Play action. Herbert looking and sacked, swallowed up by number 22, Jaton Gibson. Herbert really had nowhere to go there. His blind side really vulnerable on that play.
Definitely one of the more dangerous hits from quarterback. You don't see the defensive end coming, and you can't whip your head around fast enough to get away.
So Highland's going to set up in this unorthodox formation again. Got to make sure everybody's on side this time. Dayton Huffman looking to take the direct snap from Tanner Lunt.
Defense looking very confused.
Yeah. Mountain Pointe, a timeout now. Have to see how to defend that. So maybe some strategy there from Brock Farrell to force Mountain Pointe to call a timeout.
Mountain Pointe definitely going to talk about this formation in their huddle. Seeming very confused on that last play.
Now after the timeout is burned, Deshaun, do you think they even come out in the same formation?
I could see them going back to it just because it's worked in the past, but seems like the Hawks have a lot of tricks in their sleeves that they can pull out.
This is something new that we've seen. This is something we haven't seen all year from the Hawks. Generally a pretty orthodox team. They've run a couple of trick plays. I've seen the Statue of Liberty in the past from the Hawks. But this is something new, this formation where Tanner Lunt lines up as the center and Dayton Huffman takes a direct snap with the line to the left and Elliott Moe, the lone receiver, out to the right. It's pretty interesting, so we'll have to see what happens here. Looks like they're going to send, they snap it to Caleb Herbert. Herbert's got time to throw, looking over the middle. Is that intercepted? Unbelievable, an interception by Mountain Pointe. So the trick play ends up not working for Highland. And in what you thought might have just been an incompletion ends up being an interception for Mountain Pointe, and they will take over at their own 20-yard line after the touchback. So a pretty gutsy call there by Brock Farrell. Ends up not paying off. Caleb Herbert, a good ball, but threw into coverage. And Mountain Pointe just went up to go and get it. So Mountain Pointe gets the ball back at their own 20. Wallerstedt hands off. That time to number 33, Jakim McKinney. Lead rusher for Mountain Pointe.
Mountain Pointe should only be thinking about ball possession at this point. With this much of a lead, they don't need to give up any turnovers to keep the Hawks in this game.
And the clock at 1 minute to go in the third quarter, so just about one more quarter to hold on for Mountain Pointe, and they will be headed to round 3.
Let's go, keep up the tempo.
Second down and about 9 to go. Wellerstedt. He's going to have to run himself. Spin move. Wellerstedt finding space to go and gets out of bounds. Good for a first down.
Great draw play by the quarterback, and smart to get out of bounds, protecting his body, knowing that they got more games ahead of them.
So the Pride have a 1st and 10 from their own 35. They'll give it again on first down, something we've seen a lot of tonight. Second down and about 6 now. Mountain Pointe really seems to be trying to slow the game down as the third quarter is about to wrap up. The score, Mountain Pointe 28, Highland 7. So as we're headed to the fourth quarter, this is it for Highland.
This is it. We got to make a comeback soon.
I'm sure that's what Brock Farrell and the offensive and defensive coordinators down on the field for Highland are telling their team. They have to stay poised, they have to stay focused. It's a 3-score game, and in high school football like this, anything can happen. So on second down, as the teams flip the field, it's a handoff. Tackle made by Hunter Short. That's McKinney on the carry. So Mountain Pointe gets the fourth quarter going with a run that nets them about 9 yards. 3rd and 1 now. (28-7) in favor of the Mountain Pointe Pride, the number 1 seed here in this 6A tournament. Wallerstedt gives to the back. Good for a Mountain Pointe first down. They'll move the chains. As it really does seem like now, Deshaun, that Mountain Pointe is really just trying to slow down the clock and minimize damage as much as they can here.
Definitely. I think as a coach, I'd be telling my team to move very methodically down the field and just keep ball possession.
Under 11 minutes to go in the ball game now. Mountain Pointe looking to hold on to a 28-7 lead here in the fourth quarter, as they're going to call a timeout here. We're going to send it to a quick break. Fourth quarter at 10 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Highland down by 21. On first down, it's another run play. The outside. Nice tackle there by Dallin Clement. For a loss of 2 there.
Great physical tackle by the Hawks.
Second down and about 11. On second and 11, it's another counter as it's Marshawn Gibson who gets about 8 yards. Bring up third down. Another timeout on the field. Not sure if it's an official's timeout or not. However, 9 minutes and 44 seconds for the Hawks to make something happen here. They're down by 21. What's it looking like, Deshaun?
I mean, a lot can happen in a high school football game. Turnovers can cause points to sway, and the Hawks can get back in this game really fast.
Well, if they're going to do it, they're going to have to do it fairly quickly here. Again, with just under 10 minutes to go, and Mountain Pointe running an effective, slow offense right now. It's going to take a lot. Third down and about 4. They go to the outside. It's the quarterback, Wallerstedt, on the keeper. Gets enough for a Mountain Pointe first down. So in the game that the winner of this game's opponent will come out of, Hamilton and Perry. Perry is absolutely pulling away in that game. Last update we have via Twitter, Perry leading Hamilton 42-14 with a couple of minutes left to go in the first half. An unbelievable show of points there by Perry. Perry, a great team all season. One of the teams that gave Highland one of their 3 losses. The other coming to this Mountain Pointe team, and the other team escapes me, but I'm not sure. I know they lost 3 this year. However, Mountain Pointe 8-2 on the regular season. If you include their playoff record, they are 9-2 on the year. And it just goes to show how good this Mountain Pointe team is. This year they've only lost once to a team in Arizona, and that's Desert Ridge, who was eliminated last week by number 15 seed Westview. Desert Ridge, the number 2 seed, they beat 31-20. Or excuse me, Desert Ridge beat Mountain Pointe 31-20. As Gary Bragg takes some carries. Another Mountain Pointe first down as we are nearing the 8-minute mark. The other loss Mountain Pointe suffered this year was to Chaminade High School, which isn't even in Arizona. It's out of West Hills, California. And Chaminade only beat them by 12 points. So, I mean, that's definitely just shows the prowess of this team.
Definitely. Mountain Pointe seeing a lot of competition.
Bragg again tackled inside the 5-yard line. The Hawks this season 7-3. One of their losses coming to this Mountain Pointe team. As well as Perry and Desert Ridge was the other one. I failed to remember a couple of minutes ago. Highland coming into this game beat Desert Mountain by a score of 41-21. That was just last Friday night. Highland, that was their first playoff win since 2008, as Wallerstadt is rolling right, looking to find a hole. Unable to do so, is tripped up there by Tyler T. Brady.
It's one of the first passing attempts we've seen in a while.
Looks like Mountain Pointe is trying to get into the end zone to put an exclamation point on this game. Like you said, Deshaun, they really seem to be running the ball, and then opening up for the pass. And it seems like Highland's defense just isn't ready for it.
Definitely.
Give to Bragg. Bragg trying to find space to fall into the end zone. And can't get in, stopped around the 1-yard line. That brings up 4th down. 6 minutes and 12 seconds to go until the end of this one. Mountain Pointe, the number 1 seed, leading Highland 28-7 here in the 4th quarter. Looks like they'll mark it at the 1. Mountain Pointe going to try to bang it into the end zone to get themselves on the board again. It's Bragg. Did he get in? Let's see where they mark him. Mountain Pointe says it's a touchdown. However, the referees say that he is short, and that he is. So Highland, a big stop on 4th down
Great
to
stop.
avoid giving up another touchdown. But on the negative side of things, they've got to go 99 yards to get a score of their own.
Very risky call by Mountain Pointe at that point in the game. With that big of a lead, another 3 points would have served them well.
You got to think a field goal there would have just put it away. Mountain Pointe getting gutsy there, trying to pound it in for 6 more. Unable to do so. So Caleb Herbert sprints back out onto the field. I'm going to try to stuff the gut here. Huffman gets to the outside. Or they tackle him in the end zone for a safety, or did he get out? They'll call it a safety. So Mountain Pointe does end up putting points on the board, just not on that possession. That'll make it a 30-7 game. A very interesting play call there by Brock Farrell to run the ball out of the end zone after this defensive line of Mountain Pointe has really been dominating Highland all night.
Definitely. I think I would have to say those 2 points put it away for the Hawks.
You got to think that it's about as over as it can be now. Down by 23 points with 5 minutes and 38 seconds to go. This season for the Hawks was one for the books. After last year going 3-7, Brock Farrell comes in from Shadow Mountain High School, and his first year on the job turns his team around and goes from a non-playoff team at 3-7, completely flips their record to 7-3, earns Highland their first home playoff game in a long time. They get their first playoff win since 2008. Guys like Jacob Wood and Ty Bryant had incredible senior seasons as McNamara punts it away after the safety, fielded by Gibson. And Marquise Gibson will be tackled just shy of the 45-yard line. Guys like Riley Bond and Elliott Moe, Tanner Lunt, Caleb Herbert's favorite target. A lot of these guys Highland is losing for next year, but they do have a very, very talented junior class that will be moving up to their senior seasons next year. Definitely something to look forward to as a Hawks fan. Guys like Connor Cullimore will be back, Dayton Huffman. Highland missing a big factor in their offense with Cooper Holman. Cooper Holman having been out all year with a shoulder injury. Holman should return next year and prove to fill that gap where Riley Bond is leaving this season at tight end. Holman also a defensive end. The Hawks losing the likes of Mason Romero, a senior corner as well. Jalen Johnson, number 20, also will be departing for the Hawks. So the Hawks are really going to have something to work towards again next year, having gone 7-3 this year with a playoff win. As the clock ticks down at around the 4 minutes and 30 seconds mark. It's first down for the Pride as the run play there nets the Pride enough yardage. Another run here. And number 33, Jakim McKinney, is going to break away for another touchdown. And if that safety didn't put it away, this is just insult to injury here at this point, Deshaun.
It's not like they're trying to run the score up either. It's just the fact that the running game is busting wide open in the second half, and they're just taking what they're giving them at this point.
So sticking with the theme that we've seen all night, the Highland defense unable to stop this Mountain Pointe run as the long scamper there from number 33, Jakim McKinney, gives Mountain Pointe a 30-point lead now. This Highland crowd rightfully disappointed tonight in what now stands as a 30-point deficit in round 2 of the playoffs. But I mean, if you're a Hawks fan, I don't think you could be any happier with the turnaround from last year to this year. Again, as we mentioned, going from a 3-7 team to a 7-3 team. And we haven't seen Jacob Wood back out on the field yet, so that injury play might be the last of his high school career, which for a guy that's made such a difference this year, that's definitely something you don't want to see. That's his brother Daniel Wood, who makes a couple of guys miss on the kickoff return. Wood goes out of bounds around the 17-yard line. The Hawks will start their drive from there with 4 minutes and 1 second to go. Folks, we are still under 2 hours. And the duration of this game is only 8:56 here in Phoenix. One of the faster games that we've seen all season from Highland. As Herbert looking down the sideline. Ooh, a big hit there.
Massive hit.
Goodness gracious. He's looking for Levi Peterson there. A really big hit there, Deshaun.
Definitely.
And
Herbert has got to see that safety over the top.
I've never played football. I never have taken a hit like that, but I would imagine that has to hurt as a receiver being upended there.
Definitely. Especially when you do not see the safety coming. It's your job to catch the football. And if you can't see what's coming after that catch, it's a bad spot to be in.
Well, the incompletion stops the clock at 3 minutes and 54 seconds to go. Hawks down by 30. Well, the scoreboard says that we are going to play first down over again. It looks like that's what we are going to do here. Caleb Herbert set up in shotgun formation. No running backs with him in the backfield. Herbert looking to the left side, complete to Dayton Huffman. Huffman, one of those talented juniors, soon to be seniors, who we can expect a lot from next season. Saw a lot from him this season. Last week, Dayton Huffman, the star of the game against Desert Mountain, 3 touchdowns. Triple threat. Huffman played an unbelievable game last week, just unable to get it going this week against the best team in the state, the Mountain Pointe Pride. Herbert takes a snap from shotgun, looking downfield. Looking to his left, scrambling. Just has to get the ball out of there. Almost completes to Daniel Wood. Had a hand on it, but then dropped it. That brings up 2nd and 10. Correction, 3rd and 5. Another talented guy. Highland will be losing Tate Stevens, one of their premier linebackers. Guy this defense will definitely miss having out there on the field. Three minutes and 36 seconds to go. Herbert at a shotgun, looking over the middle. Dang. Again, Wood can't keep his hands on it. Brings up 4th down and about 5 yards to go. And you would think for Highland, they got to keep the offense out there down by 30. That's what they will do, it looks like. 3 minutes and 33 seconds to go until the end of the ball game. Herbert looking right, has a hole. Did he complete that to Ty Bryant? No, he did not. Incomplete. So Mountain Pointe takes over on 4th down. And the Pride take over deep inside Highland territory at about the 22-yard line. So we'll have to see what Mountain Pointe elects to do here up by 30 if they're going to try to get into the end zone, which, I mean, ethically I'm not sure is the best thing to do. But seeing as there are 3 minutes and 25 seconds to go, it might have to happen.
Definitely. I believe Mountain Pointe is going to do just what the defense gives them. They're going to run the ball and keep the clock running.
The handoff there. Handoff goes to number 29, Nate Ramirez. The backup quarterback for Mountain Pointe has entered the game as number 16, Ahmed Williams. Williams calls a man in motion, takes a snap out of the shotgun. Give to Gary Bragg, who's taken down inside the 10.
It's like we got a flag on the field.
So they're going to call Highland for a chop block there. First and goal from the 4 now for the Pride. Ahmed Williams, the give to Bragg, who punches his way into the end zone for a Mountain Pointe touchdown. I mean, Deshaun at this time, they're just pouring salt into the wound. I mean, you really got to think about how this feels as a member of this Highland team. I mean, 44-7. I mean, you're almost at that threshold where the clock is running, obviously the 40-point threshold. Definitely something I didn't see coming into this game between a really good Highland team and the best team in the state, Mountain Pointe. But here we are, 44-7, as Highland is set to get the ball back with 2 minutes and 27 seconds to go in the ball game.
With the offense coming onto the field, they got to accept that this may be their last time on an offensive possession and just have fun with it and enjoy the game while it is.
Guys like Ty Bryant, who's back to return the kick. As you mentioned, just enjoying the moment at this point as Ben Abercrombie kicks it away. It's Daniel Wood who receives it. Wood looking to go to the other side of the field. Tackled shy of the 20. Daniel Wood, brother of Jacob Wood, is a sophomore. Very talented sophomore at that. And like his brother, is playing on varsity as a sophomore. Jacob Wood did that 2 years ago. Definitely a look into the future when you see Daniel Wood out there with the ball in his hands. I have a feeling Daniel will fill the void for his older brother Jacob pretty well. As there is a flag on the play, it looks like it's going to be a defensive penalty, which will give the Hawks 5 yards, but also will stop the clock. 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go. Herbert play action, looking to his right, complete. That time to Riley Bond, so Herbert Just trying to get everybody into the action here. Riley Bond, one of those guys that will be graduating at the end of this school year. Herbert, however, a junior. He will be back for next season. Herbert trips out to his left. He's going to give it to Dayton Huffman. Huffman up the gut, fighting for yardage. Is down about 4 yards short of the first down marker. 3rd and about 5. Looks like they're going to mark it. Correction, 2nd and 5. Herbert a man out to his right and 2 out to his left, looking in that direction. Herbert complete to Ty Bryant. A nice catch there, and I think if that's your last catch as a high school football player,
Yeah, that's feeling
I'd be
good.
pretty happy with that.
Going up pretty high in between defenders, that's got to feel good for him.
The connection between Herbert and Brady moves the chains. We are under a minute to go now as the Hawks hurry to the line. Herbert trips out to the right this time. Completes this time to the senior Levi Peterson, who was upended on the last attempt to complete to him. So they're under the 30-second mark. And looking back on this season, if you're a Highland fan, again, we've said it multiple times on the broadcast, can't be unhappy with how the Hawks performed this year. Unbelievably turning around from a 3-7 team to a 7-3 team as a deep ball is incomplete down the sideline. And that'll do it. So for the Hawks, they are eliminated. Mountain Pointe moves on to play the winner of the Hamilton Huskies and the Perry Pumas. A fantastic season this year as the Highland fans are giving their players a rousing ovation. An unbelievable job again by Brock Farrell, excuse me. Turn this team around. A gut-wrenching end to the season, however, as Mountain Pointe, the #1 seed in this 6A tournament, pulls away, and they win it 44-7. And for everybody that's listened in, that's watched on YouTube, that has participated in these live broadcasts, we really would like to give you all of our thanks. From us here in the booth to the Booster Clubs, a big thank you to Alicia Holman, Greg Allen. Thank you to our executive producers, Bella Cisneros. It's giving me a big smile at the moment. Amanda Foster. To my partner who is normally here with us, Alex Didion. To Jeff Griffith, who helped out this season. Deshaun Lee here tonight with us. Just a big thank you to everybody who has put so much time and so much effort into these broadcasts. It's an end to a great season. Highland Hawks go out after losing 44-7 at Mountain Pointe, but a great season nonetheless. From Phoenix, signing off, I'm Jordan Lang.